Over here is another domain space that we really need to embrace much more centrally to our thinking within HR, which is better data, better insight, better analytics. And when we talk about things like well-being, it's as apposite in the world of well-being, trying to drive well-being agendas, as anywhere. We've got to demonstrate that if you invest in improving mental health in the organisation or physical well-being or whatever it is, that we can actually point to an outcome. That you can point to greater productivity or greater engagement or people stay longer in their workforce or you reduce your absenteeism or whatever it is. And this domain space is really, really important to us, and we've long debated how do we get the business language of, speak the language of business. I believe what we need to do actually is better define the business language of HR and get some of these metrics clearer. For example, headcount. What is our headcount? Which is an age-old debate, and at some levels it's a bit of a trick question because you've immediately got to say, well, what do you mean? What are you defining? You're defining it as full-time employees? Do you count open positions? And of course, in particular, in a much more flexible working world, do you count all of my contractors? And to come to the 0 hours point that you made, Ryan, I mean, yeah, so we heavily engaged and kicked off that debate because we said that there were more like 1 million workers in the UK on a 0 hours contract. Do you know what I mean by a 0 hours contract? Right? So no mutual obligation of work is what it means. Right? So I have a contract, no mutual obligation, i.e. no defined hours that I have to work. Now, is that a good thing? I think personally, yes. Why not? There are many people where a 0 hours contract is a really, really good way to work. It's flexible. I can do it in amongst other responsibilities, which incidentally might include other jobs, right? Or care responsibilities or whatever else it is. So understanding what is the nature of my workforce and moving beyond an agenda, which so often you look at it and you have the chief executive says, right, how many people to employ? And then you have one number from the chief, the head of finance, and one number from the head of HR. And who does the chief exec believe? The head of finance, right? So we've got to get together and say, what are we really talking about here? How do we define these terms? How do we really look at the key metrics which are driving performance that relate to human capital and organization?